6 minutes before 8 Central African time, and we'll be starting the show with international news, looking at the growing tensions involving the United States of America, Iran, and Oman. US President Donald Trump is essentially threatening Oman over its role in efforts to negotiate an Iran peace deal of some sort. This all the while concerns growing around the Strait of Hormuz. I mentioned before we went into that short break that on his Truth social media yesterday, there was a post by US President Donald Trump, and he was declaring, I'm not sure how many of these Truth social media posts you need to start taking serious, but he was essentially claiming the Strait of Hormuz as an American territory. We'll be having a conversation with international relations expert Dr. Oscar van Heerden, very, very good friend of the show, of what we need to make of these latest developments. Doc, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on the show.
Good morning, Silas. Good morning to the listeners.
I want to jump right into it. It looks like Trump is looking to, open a new front to the war with Iran. Just from your perspective, looking at the headline and the big picture, how serious is this latest escalation between Oman, the US, and Iran?
Look, I mean, the truth of the matter is that Trump is upset with Oman because the whole master plan to circumvent Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz was that they would use the southern corridor, which is Oman side of the strait, to actually allow ships through. That was the whole plan. We don't need Iran effectively, is what the Americans thought that they will do. We'll use the southern corridor, which is the Oman corridor, which Iran supposedly have no control over. But Iran is one ahead of the Americans because, one, they are saying that even if ships are going to use the Oman corridor, they are still going to fire upon them because they know that if they lose control of the Strait of Hormuz, they lose a very big bargaining power. Number one. And number two, they have been in negotiations with Oman to say the two of us can benefit if we put a fee onto ships that come through the Strait of Hormuz. And Oman is in agreement with it. And this is what Trump now is angered Trump. And instead of attacking Iran, which has proven futile over the last few months, they're now threatening Oman.
And I was looking at this, and I thought it was quite interesting because Oman, for the longest time, is proven to be a very, very good friend of the United States of America. I mean, you can count the amount of bases, American military bases that are in Oman, and how over time they have allowed the United States of America to use their airspace. Is this the beginning of maybe the Gulf nations are also realizing where they actually stand with the United States of America, and how maybe the relations they've been enjoying with the US are not what they used to think they are?
I think the Gulf states have long concluded that from the beginning of this war with Iran, this illegal act of aggression against Iran, within a few weeks, in fact, within a few days of the war, the United States proved that they don't actually have the security interest of the Gulf states at heart, that they are more inclined to protect Israel, and all the military bases and military might in that part of the world was geared towards, one, attacking Iran, but also two, protecting Israel. And they've taken, the GCC states have taken a serious beating in terms of attacks from Iran. And they've come to appreciate and realize that they need to look further afield if they want to secure themselves.
Very, very interesting. There's another interesting development when you look at the war between the United States of America and Iran. The fact that I think it was on the 17th of August, so earlier this week, the deadline to reach a US-Iran deal expired. And I'm just thinking to myself, what more can be done here to, I don't know, realize some sort of stability, some sort of peace? You had Pakistan try to be the chief negotiator. That didn't work out so well. You have Oman now, who want to play a role in the negotiations, but it looks like no one is going to win here because Trump doesn't seem to know what he wants in the same breath.
No, it's not that Trump doesn't know what he wants. He knows exactly what he wants. He wants an Iran that capitulates, that the regime collapse. He wants regime change. He wants all kinds of wish lists. The fact of the matter is he doesn't want to accept that he was strategically defeated, that it was a miscalculation to enter into this illegal war, and that Iran has survived. And this is the reality. So you are right. We are not going to get anywhere. No one is going to get anything done until such time that both America and Israel accept that they have been defeated, because all the cards, literally all the cards, are in the hands of the Iranians. So there's no end to this conflict. I think everyone that dare to say to Trump and advise Trump that he needs to end this, he needs to find an off-ramp, he needs to in effect accept that he's lost this war, he simply doesn't want to do it. And it's hurting the global market, it's hurting his allies in Europe in terms of energy resources and so forth. Everyone is almost at critical levels. So I think the pressure will mount and something is going to have to give. And the truth of the matter is, even if he wanted to escalate it to bombing, he's running out of missiles.
I want us to take a quick break. When you come back, I want to look at Iran's point of view, because one of the key priorities here that President Donald Trump reiterated is that the top goal in this war against Iran is preventing them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. And as you mentioned, this is undercutting some of his advisors who spoke about oil prices and how that should be a priority right now. So when we come back, I want to look at Iran's point of view and whether or not this is in any way possible, and also how they could be viewing all of this, because it's been a couple of months now since February when the first strikes on Iran unfolded. So we'll look at Iran's point of view and try and unpack on that a bit further after this.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Right now, over 150
What question do we start on?
facing hunger, hardship, and uncertainty. With Islamic Relief's Orphan Sponsorship Program, you can provide a child with access to education, nutritious food, essential healthcare, and a safe home. Your sponsorship is not just support, it's hope, security, and a brighter future. Be the reason an orphan child smiles again. Sponsor an orphan today with Islamic Relief.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Are you banking with convenience, transparency, and flexibility? With Al Baraka Bank's transactional banking account, you can enjoy convenient everyday banking designed around your needs. Benefit from zero fees on point-of-sale transactions and manage your banking easily through Al Baraka's secure mobile banking app and internet banking platform. From everyday payments to managing your personal or business banking, Al Baraka makes banking simple, transparent, and convenient. Visit albaraka.co.za to learn more. Al Baraka, your partner bank. Al Baraka Bank Limited is an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
16 minutes past 8 Central African time. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm still in conversation with international relations expert, Dr. Oscar van Heerden, and we're having a conversation around the developments surrounding the United States of America, Iran, and now Oman. In the first chapter of that conversation, we spoke about the threats to Oman by the United States of America or by President Donald Trump because of the role that Oman wants to play in striking a deal between Iran and the US. And Prof, thank you so much for staying with us. Before we went into that short break, I wanted to touch briefly on the perspective of Iran here. The war, the first strikes really, we started seeing them unfold on, I think, the 28th of February, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of months later, it looks like they've weathered the worst of what could have unfolded. Where are they right now? Looking at, the developments, seeing Donald Trump and in the United States of America not quite being as organized as you'd expect them to be in a diplomatically straining scenario like this one.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the options open and people are beginning to talk about it. The Israelis are making noise about it. The only options remaining for America and for Israel is to supposedly use tactical nuclear weapons. I think that this is, the Trump himself and the war criminal Netanyahu is unpredictable and they are desperate. So Trump has been repeating this mantra of Iran cannot be a nuclear power, cannot have nuclear weapons and so forth. But from Iran's perspective, I would be very surprised if Iran has not been accelerating their nuclear weapons program. Because it seems to me and to every pundit and analyst out there, military expert, that in order to deter America and Israel from continuously attacking Iran every 6 months, every 2 years, etc., the only deterrent is going to be to have a nuclear weapon, so that there can be a mutual level of deterrence. Israel has a nuclear weapon, Iran has a nuclear weapon. I think that is where Iran is going to go to. Now, people are saying that nuclear weapon is actually the Strait of Hormuz. But the reality is that once weapons, missiles, Patriot missiles, air defense missiles, interceptors have been replenished, then America is going to attack Iran again. This has been the repetitive mantra. They talk peace, but they attack, they kill, they undermine, and so on. And Iran is aware of this, and this is why Trump is so desperate to make a deal. But the Iranians are saying we're not interested in talking because you can't be trusted. When we talk, you kill us, you bomb us. If it's not you, then you use your ally Israel to do it, and then you claim we didn't know, but you also don't rein in Israel in. So Iranians are tired. They are wanting to prove a point. They want to embarrass Trump, and yes, unfortunately, in doing so, they are also going to be hurting the global market. But they are saying that Trump can stop that if he wants to by conceding to the demands that Iran has put on the table.
Very, very interesting times indeed. And I'm just looking at the response here from NATO and the European Union, because I think this war in particular has also tested that relationship, especially with the United States. What do you think they are right now in terms of I don't know, trying to control the United States of America, if that's still a possibility at this stage?
Yeah, the European Union and NATO is misdirecting their attention. They are wanting to talk of a terror regime, of a regime that is supporting terrorism and proxies in the Middle East. They're wanting to talk of Iran as a mullah-run government who is repressing its population, when in fact all of that energy and attention should be directed at their ally called the United States of America. The reason why the European Union countries are not involved in this war is because they know it's an illegal war. There was no legal basis for America and Israel to attack Iran. They want nothing to do with it. But they also don't have the guts at this point to turn to Donald Trump and say, you need to stop this. You need to stop this because you are now hurting our economies as well.
Yo, I think it's going to be a really, really interesting time ahead, because the 60-day period between the United States and Iran has expired, and it has expired without any lasting agreement. What do you think comes next from now onwards?
I think that it's a wait-and-see game. I think that everyone in the Pentagon and everywhere knows that they need to concede to Iranian demands. I think the CIA is probably concocting up some plans of wanting to still create some internal strife and conflict within Tehran, within Iran. But I think the Iranians are prepared for that. And so at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a frozen conflict where America refuses to actually concede defeat, and we continuously just go through this motion until November, when there is going to be the elections in America. And if indeed the Democrats take the House and the Senate, they might very well remove Trump through an impeachment process and take criminal actions against him, which then means that a different administration is going to be able to make decisions about how they bring that conflict to an end.
I think November, that's where all of us are going to be, looking forward to. But otherwise, Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
There we go. Dr. Oscar van Heerden, international relations expert, helping us understand the growing tensions involving the U.S. now and Oman and Iran, and why that, or maybe what's going to be happening next, especially seeing that the 60-day peace deal has expired without any long-lasting agreement. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the United States of America, especially in November when the midterms come, what might be the outcome then, because I think that on its own essentially gives us an idea, or whether or not there'll be peace in the Middle East hinges on the decisions that are going to be taken there. Going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you after this.